What do you worship? Well, hello brothers and sisters, welcome to Mission Zero. My name is Shawn, and this is FlashBack Friday, the show where we take stories from the past and apply them to the present to create a better future. What I want to talk about today is sort of the struggles that we go through and how we can have a better connectivity to people. Let me give you the biblical verse and then I'll give you the story. So the biblical verse is Philippians 4:8, in which the Apostle Paul writes, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any praise, if there be any virtue, think on these things." The Apostle Paul was not one to use flowery language and mince things. Every word he ever used had a purpose. What do those mean, and why to those people? Okay, so the reason that this matters is these people, this church, was founded in the midst of all kinds of idol worship. So true, honest, just, pure, lovely, good report. These are the dysfunctions that we go through and the things that we need to watch out for. And that's what Paul is telling the Philippians. Okay, so let's start off with the first two, what's true and what's honest. Things that are true, right? This is Paul saying, concern yourself with what's actually true, not what you believe to be true. And that's a subtle difference, right? They believed that because Paul was in prison, the gospel had stopped. And he's saying, no, don't get yourself all wrapped up in those ideas. That's not real. You are believers, you know the truth of God. This gospel will spread. What's honest? Hey, be honest with yourselves. And this goes in a couple of different directions, but what he's saying is, no, don't get these vain imaginings. Don't puff yourself up to think that you are so awesome, that you alone are the one who can carry the gospel. But he's also saying don't fall so far down that you are constantly circling the barrel, sure that you're going to be wiped out. What's just, he's saying, man, don't concern yourself with obsessing about the things that aren't right? The fact that I'm in house arrest. What he's saying is, no, think about the things that are right? You've been saved, you've been justified by grace through faith. What's pure? Man, there's one thing that's pure, and it's the love of God towards his children. And so what he's saying is don't get caught in the pit of hatred and segregation and tearing people apart. What's lovely? Focus on the beauty. Don't look at the ugliness of the world. Don't look at the fact that Christians are being persecuted. Look at the fact that there is still sun and there is still rain and there is still beauty in nature and in the world and in Christ and in love and in fellowship. And so then good report. If there's any praise, if there's any virtue, if there's value in a thing, if there is positivity in a thing, then think about that. Don't obsess about what goes wrong and what we failed in. And man, I, for one, am horrible at that. And I think a lot of us are, as we get lost in our failures and we get lost in our struggles and we don't see the brighter side of things. And this is what Paul is telling this church is, yeah, I know, I'm in prison. I've gone through a lot of stuff. I've been poor, I've been rich, I've been beaten, I've been free. And what I know through all of it is the purity of Jesus, the love of God, and the connectivity amongst people sustained me through all of it. That is what we need to seize on. That's what we really have to focus on. And that's what this week I've really been trying to grab this idea of life to talk about is getting myself straight and back on the path of worshiping life. So there's my exhortation for us today and for into this weekend. We've got to be able to let go of the negative, right? Take the pieces that are important to learn from and that you can use to grow and build yourself up, but just dispense with the rest. Focus in this life on the things that are good, not who accused who of what, or who's been voted into what office, or what this TV show did, all of this nonsense that we get so riled up about and so angry and hateful over. Let that go. If it is a thing that can be helpful to you to grow or helpful to other people to grow, think on those things and let the rest go. So there we go. I love you, and may God pour out the blessings of heaven upon you, and may you be the you-iest you can possibly be, and hang in there, because I'm with you, and I am for you, and I love you. Peace out.